What do Aereheads? You're here back for your Monday update, 28th. We're almost to that monthly candle close, so we're going to check that out today. Top of that, we got some Bitboy news. I made a video earlier today kind of going over what has happened. Bitboy mutiny, lots of rumors, lots of speculations going on. We finally heard word from the source, one of the sources. There's always two sides for a story, so I'm going to quickly play this for you.
Hello. Yesterday, BJ Investment Holdings, the parent company of Hit Network, took decisive legal action in removing Ben Armstrong from the company, and specifically the Bitboy crypto brand. This is a difficult decision, is a culmination of a prolonged effort to help Ben during his relapse into substance abuse, as well as reconcile the emotional, physical, and financial damage he has done to the employees of Hit Network and the Bitboy crypto community. The Bit Squad deserves better, and we're going to get through this together. We wish him the best and regret that it has come to this and are hopeful for the future of Bitboy crypto. Hit Network is committed to empowering creators, and we will continue to do that every day. Thank you.
That's what we know. They tweeted the exact same thing, the exact same statement. They went on to say that they're not here to bash Bitboy. They're going to continue on. DZ's filling in the meantime. We know from my earlier video this morning that they approached Kara Zabo to be the new Bit Girl. She declined, so it looks like they're looking for a new figurehead. We know Bitboy is looking to move to Dubai. He hasn't really said much yet, other than there's a mutiny going on. He's tweeting from the Memecoin Twitter. He's lost access to the Bitboy crypto Twitter. He doesn't own Hit Network LLC. Apparently TJ does. So we're going to kind of just watch and wait. Now, I don't know if this is true, if he's relapsed or what. I don't know why they would come out and lie. That seems like that would be a defamation lawsuit waiting to happen. We know Bitboy loves to sue people, right? Ask a Tozy. So we're going to have to just kind of watch and see what goes on. I don't wish ill will on anybody. If he did relapse, I hope he gets the help he needs and becomes a better person through this process. We all know his tumultuous past, all the scams he has done. He told people he was going to lock up his Ben tokens for 6 months. A week later, he dumped every single one of them. So he has issues he needs to work through. Hopefully he does, and hopefully he gets better. Let's take a look at Bitcoin Aereheads. We'll look at a couple other news pieces that popped off today, checking on crypto Twitter, get you caught up on what's going on today. Bitcoin markets were incredibly boring over the weekend. So I hope you guys got out there and touched grass. But the good news is we are still in the range. It is a very tradable range. This morning we licked into the value area high, and we've come back down to the PLC where we got a bounce, right? So you took a scalp here, one short, saw that it bounce off the POC, you take a long, right? Move your stop losses up accordingly. We're just continuing to trade this range right now. I mean, it's a very tradable range, but it's boring, right? You know, so far, for the most part, we've held up, right? The value area high is held up, the value area low is held up. And when you take shorts from the top of the range, and that does get that breakout to the downside, you're on the winning side of that, as long as you're moving your stop losses accordingly. We do a quick check-in on the liquidity. This is the liquidation heat map, right? Not much has changed. The levels remain the same, right around 25K, right around 27K, kind of being boxed in. You know, maybe we run up to 27 or down to 25 to chase those out. Taking a look at the order books, you can see 25K is still strong. Not much above us, guys. You know, last week we saw, after that dump happened, we saw, you know, a lot of liquidity disappear from that $31,000 to $30,000 level. Again, nothing wild, right? Volume's been kind of light. We had that kind of big wick where we bounce up to the top of the channel, and it still wasn't a big wick, but it was enough to get us to the top of that value area high, the range that I was just talking about earlier this morning. So spot volume still pretty light, definitely a lot lighter than it was last week. We're kind of been flipping back and forth between a positive and a negative funding rate, I should say. So market's still not able to really make up its mind. We're ranging out right now. The only thing that we can do when we're ranging out like this is trade the range. Value area highs, value area lows, POCs. You trade the support and resistance. I just put out a TA video on how to do that yesterday, right on Sunday. Very informative video. Check it out. Link to that series in the description below. But the beauty of this is it doesn't matter if Bitcoin breaks up or down. As long as you're trading the range, right? You take your shorts and your longs based off of where we're at in the range. So when you come down to the value area low, right, you're going to take a long. When you're at the high, you take a short. Then you know, depending on where we enter the range from the bottom of the top, you can get a bounce off the POC. You might have to close your positions and open up a new one, right? Because that is going to act as support and resistance as well. My point here is, as long as you're trading this range, it doesn't matter if the price goes up or down outside of this range, you're going to be on the winning side of that trade for Bitcoin, right? We're going to take a look at some altcoins too. Well, I got you guys here. I appreciate everyone. Do me a favor, smash that thumbs up button, turn on notifications, subscribe. And then last but not least, hop in Discord, discord.gg alpha Aere, where we bring you that alpha for free every single day. Most traders, most real people who are giving you real information are charging for their time. Right now, it's free. First 100 subscribers that join are going to be grandfathered into any paywall I do in the future. But hop on in while the going is getting, while the getting is good, whatever it is, right? But I'm posting the alpha every single day. I'm posting alt plays that play out more often than not. So take advantage of it right now. Try me out. If you don't like it, leave. No harm done. Let's look at the bigger picture for Bitcoin, right? So let's look at that monthly candle, which we got 3 days, 8 hours from now. It's closing out, right? End of the month, almost September. Summer's winding down. So that's the good news, is the summer lull. Once we get towards the middle, end of September and in October, hopefully we can start to kind of build back. Summers are boring, as you can see from the last 2 months. It's been a red candle. We have made a new low this month, as we all know. So good news is we're still up on the year, right? I mean, it looks like a very, very bearish candle, especially when you look at all the indicators, right? I mean, even the monthly candle now coming under the moving averages. You can see VWAP starting to kind of come down a little bit, but I don't really care about that. It's just, it looks bearish, right? You take a look at the weekly candle, which we just got to close on. You know, if I turn off my indicators, you can see we've had a couple of bad weeks. Obviously, you know, that 2 week ago candle was really bad. That's where we really dropped, made that new low, right? So here was your low, and we actually made a lower low, which is not good. So the next thing we need to see is, what do we do next? Do we make a higher high or a higher low on the weekly? We're taking a look at some of the indicators, right? So here's what I'm seeing here. A couple things. Number one, money flow is still bleeding. VWAP is still heavily down. RSI Stokes coming down. You take a look at the RSI here, right? What do I see? I see a couple things. Number one, we're well under the simple moving average. We got a lot of work to get back above that moving average to get into a bearish posture again. On top of that, ladies and gentlemen, we take a look at the daily chart and what's happening, right? I mean, we're still in that kind of bearish flag, especially when you get into like the 2 days, the 3 days, and you see all the red dots, the money flow bleeding underneath all the moving averages right now, including the 200. You know, you take a look at the 4-hour chart, we're well under the 200 moving average, which is my market indicator. It doesn't mean we can't go up, right? But to make a higher high, I mean, we got to get back up a long ways. We're talking thousands of dollars to get back up to where we were around that $30,000 level. It's possible. We need a lot of momentum to get up there. So my point here is, it still looks bearish out there, guys, right? Bearish market tone, bearish psychological market right now. You know, invalidated, we can get back up here past $30,000. But till then, we're looking for shorts, baby, and we're trading ranges while we're ranging out like this. You know, this could turn into like a big Bart Simpson. Maybe we come up. You know, that's your bullish scenario right there. But for now, it still looks bearish. We got to build back before we can get there. But if you remember, this is what happened prior to the 2020 halving. We're doing the exact same thing where we made a decent run to the start of the year, right? Then we tested the previous year's lows. And if that were to happen now, our case for a previous year low retest, you want to see what it is, ladies and gentlemen? Here it is, right? It's your ascending wedge. And you take that kind of whole year breakout, it brings us right back down to FTX levels. 15, 16K. Is that possible? Anything is possible. Do I think it's going to happen? Well, I visited my Hopium dealer this morning, and I'm hoping it doesn't happen. But it looks like we are going to retest some of these lows. Logical levels to be about $20,000. But the $15,000, $16,000 Bitcoin from that FTX level lows, that's what happened in 2020. Not at that price point, but we tested the previous lows from the run up before we built back and then just blasted off to the moon to the halving. And we got a lot of going from us from the ETFs, the halving, all that stuff going on right now. But there's some stuff against us too, right? The economy, you know, there's talking about COVID lockdowns again, which is insane to me. You know, personal opinion, that's pretty much Stockholm syndrome at this point. But, you know, there's stuff, Evergrande is crashing right now in China. So there's a lot of scary stuff out there right now. That's why we try to paint the bearish, the bullish. We just kind of look at the current range we're in, we're trade it. So when it does break out or down, we're on the winning side of that trade. Take a look at a couple news pieces and we'll get into some altcoins before we wrap up this video. But we've been talking about this on the channel for a while now. And there's a lot of speculation as to why Bitboy is going to Dubai. Some people saying, part of the reason is because the SEC is going after influencers. They said they were. We've talked about this before. They're bringing their first NFT enforcement against a podcast studio. The regulatory agency charged Impact Theory with conducting an unregistered offering of crypto asset securities, NFTs in this case. Impact Theory is a YouTube channel and podcast studio co-founded by Tom Bilyeu. I've never heard of them, but this could just be the start of them going after. So they're saying that they raised $30 million, a lot of money, from hundreds of investors, the SEC said. Whew. They've had Matthew McConaughey on their channel. They have 4 million subscribers, so it's not small, but interesting to see there. We all know the Pepe fiasco, right? We all know what's going on with Pepe. I'm not here to explain that, but I am here to tell you of what has happened. So they have tweeted in response to it. They said, "I am shocked at what took place. We'd like to apologize for all the fear and uncertainty and any losses the actions of these bad actors have caused members of our community. The centralized exchange wallet tokens were never meant to be sold on the market or for the team to profit from. Had I been in charge of this myself the whole time, I would have made some donations and burned the majority of the SECs." They're talking about the multi-sig wallets, right? The team's wallets. "I can assure you that the control of this Twitter account, as well as remaining 10 trillion tokens in the multi-sig, are safe and in control of someone who has the best interests of everybody at Pepe at hand, inaccessible by the nefarious X team members. The account says that tokens were transferred or stolen, that they were ultimately sold on crypto exchanges OKX and Binance." We talked about this last week. They clarify, they said, "As I process what happened, I look forward to the future for Pepe, where I will be able to operate with the community and the token's best intention in mind, and no negligent team members and locked multi-sig situations blocking me from doing what is best. I have started discussions with some prominent community members who will be helping guide things going forward. And I'm excited to be in the position to do everything we can to set Pepe up to thrive as a decentralized and anti-fragile meme coin asset it deserves to be." So it's down about 30% in a week. Huge macro news, right? So Evergrande resumed trading after being shut down for weeks, right? So they opened to as much as 80%, 87% down. Actually, 17 months it was down, not weeks. I meant months, but traded on Hong Kong on March 18th of 2022. So a lot of people are saying this is like China's, layman moment, right? This is a huge deal in China. China is struggling right now for a lot of reasons. If the Chinese economy tanks, it's going to affect the entire world. Just like if the United States economy tanks, it's going to affect the entire world. So we are watching this with a close eye to see what happens. We are watching China with a close eye to see what happens, because this does affect the whole world. It is a world economy at this point. If one of the big players out there, and let's face it, they're huge, right? It's going to affect the entire world. I couldn't really find anything of interest to talk about on crypto Twitter today, since everyone is talking about Bitboy and China. I mean, we've kind of covered that already to death. Didn't really find anything too interesting. It's still early in the day, so let's just take a look at some altcoins. Couldn't really find anything of interest to talk about on crypto Twitter today, since everyone is talking about Bitboy and China. I mean, we've kind of covered that already to death. Didn't really find anything too interesting. It's still early in the day, so let's just take a look at some altcoins. To get some look at some altcoins. Before we do that, guys, I just want to let you know I do post a lot of altcoin plays here, and I take suggestions. If you want an altcoin TA, drop it in the comments down below. I will TA it in tomorrow's video. If you want it sooner than that, I'll do a deep dive for you. I will take time out of my day and TA a coin for you that you should then backtest or use it to find confluence in your own trades. Or if I see something differently than you, figure out where we're where we are diverging. But I post alt plays all the time that are playing out. We're going to cover some of them today. But hop on in Discord, discord.gg/alpha-aere, and join in on the free alpha. But we've been talking about LPT for a while now. We talked about it last week. Let's get rid of some of these indicators here. Boom. Let's zoom in to kind of show you a clearer picture here. So I said, look, it was very simple. I said last week, I said, we need to flip the 7.57-ish level in order to go up, right? Because this was a double top, and look what happened, right? What happened? We got that kind of fake out breakout. You got to wait for that retest, unless it just skyrockets up, right? And then we failed it. And since failing it, it has come down significantly since it hit that double top to the T, right? I mean, look at that. It's down 11%. So it was a very, very good short play, short opportunity that played out. But just look, right? Look at this batch here, this batch here. You can see where that next level that we need to flip is now, right there. That simple, right? So, you know, maybe a little bit more downside coming on LPT, especially depending on what Bitcoin does. I mean, Bitcoin's pretty flat today, up 0.2%. If we come down even further on Bitcoin, I would expect more on the short side. We're coming down even farther on LPT until, again, we flip 7.946 now. We talked about SUI. I posted this in Discord. I said we're coming down. It's an ascending wedge, right? There's a lot of other reasons why, too. I mean, it had a good run up. People were due to take profits. We saw some bearish divergences that were getting ready to play out. And since that call, right, and since we lost that channel, I mean, there's an 8% swing to the downside right there. I mean, that's beautiful. I mean, that's even if you did a one-time leverage short on that, that's 8%. That's huge. We'll take those all day long. So now, right, let's take a fixed range. Let's take a volume profile of this range. Boom, boom. There we go. You can see look how this plays out, right? We're at the POC right now. So it's do or die time, right? Either we're going to get a bounce here, right? And we're going to try to make our way to the top of the channel, or we're going to fail it and we're coming back down to the bottom of the channel. We still haven't kind of made it to the bottom of this measure move here. So there's definitely more downside potential. I would look to that 0.5 level for a bounce, for a potential. You got to look when we get there to see what's going on, but a potential long opportunity. Or if you're looking to stack more of SUI token, you could probably do it there. But you can see here, this value area high needs to be flipped and flipped solidly to support before we can continue up. As you can see, for the last 1, 2, 3, 4 days, I mean, really since Friday, and you can even really include Thursday and Wednesday in there, because it was that, you know, fake out, breakout, retest, failed, right? So we weren't able to solidly flip that value area high. And that really currently sits at 0.5897. So this played out beautifully, and we posted this in Discord as well. So now I'm watching and waiting to see what happens at this PLC. If we bounce, it looks like we're coming up. If not, I'm looking to that value area low. Once we get down to that value area low, then we got to wait and see if we're coming down. You should, you know, if you're already in a short, you just move your stop loss, keep moving it down. If it comes all the way down, you're in the winning side of that trade. Let's do one more here, and let's just make it random. Not even going to look. I'm just going to stop on one. Cardano, beautiful. Let's take a look at Cardano here. Let's get rid of my brush strokes. You can see I TA a lot of these coins all the time and toss them in Discord. Let's see what's going on. So a couple things. So I can probably draw that a little bit better. So you can see here we have a solid line that has acted as resistance. I mean, really since that July 13th, 12th, that was that XRP pump, right? Where it's just kind of been retracing, and most alts have. See a couple things here going on. Number one, that round and bottom that brought us up. Hopefully this will be another round and bottom that brings us up. I firmly believe if Cardano cracks this trend line right here, we're coming up, and we're coming up to about that 0.29 level. However, if we start to lose this, because this kind of is a little bit of a flag, it is a very tradable range in Cardano. You can see my volume profile there. I mean, if we start to lose that, we're talking the previous bull run market territory. You know, we're talking down here. I mean, that's just ugly, 0.1725. There's nothing here. There's just nothing here, guys. It's all air. I mean, look at the volume profile. Control-Alt-H. Let's turn on my indicators. You can see it's nothing but air. Historically, this is psychological level is that 0.1725-ish range, right? So you can see the volume just drops off. So this is where that kind of bull run started for Cardano back in 2021. Hopefully, right? I'm optimistic. I visited my Hopium dealer, like I said. Hopefully we don't go down there and we can hold this level. And we're looking to make that rounded double bottom like we saw here, and we can continue up, targeting that 0.293 level for Cardano, flip that to support, and we can continue up even higher. Pretty much it for today, guys. Got you the news, talked about Bitboy, looked at Bitcoin, told you how to trade this range, looked at a few altcoins for you guys. That's what I got today. 20-minute video, short, sweet, to the point. I do these every single day, guys, so turn on notifications, right? Like, comment, subscribe, hop in Discord, give me a try, discord.gg/alpha-air. We'll see you guys later. If something news pops off, I'll bring it to you, right? It's my second video already for the day. Later.